What is up guys, welcome to another video. In this video we're going to talk about 5 tips on summer miles and how to train during this heat and humidity. So let's get into tip number 1. Okay, so tip number 1 is going to be a really obvious one: hydration and electrolytes. Hydration is going to be really important because during the summer months you're going to be sweating a whole lot more than you would be any other time of the year. So you really want to focus on staying hydrated before your run, during your run, and after your run. Also electrolytes. If you're not focused on electrolytes and you're just pounding water, you're gonna be sweating out your electrolytes during your runs, and if you're just pounding water, then you're gonna be peeing out your electrolytes as well. So you really need to focus on replenishing your electrolytes, whether that's through supplements. There are plenty of supplements such as like Noon or Tailwind or many more, or also you can get your electrolytes from real food. But ways I like to stay hydrated during my runs is carrying a hydration vest on me, or a handheld water bottle, or even like a water bottle that wraps around your waist. I like carrying those on my long runs. If you're running for 45 minutes or less, you don't necessarily have to carry water with you, but if you want to, hey, go for it. You can also use water to like spritz yourself if it's really hot out. But yeah, tip number 1 is going to be hydration and electrolytes. Okay, so tip number 2 is going to be avoiding the heat of the day. Like right now, I'm running at 5:30 in the morning, or you could run at night instead of running in the middle of the day, the hottest part of the day. And if you have workouts, this is gonna be really important. Like you have your threshold runs or your track workouts, do that in the early morning hours instead of the heat of the day. But also keep in mind, if you have a race coming up, like for me, I have a 12-hour race coming up, that's going to take place during the hottest part of the day and in August. So I'm trying to get out at least once or twice a week in the middle of the day so I can help acclimate myself, my body, and my mind of how hot it's going to be during that time of the day. But yeah, that's tip number 2. Avoid the heat of the day. Okay, so tip number 3, whenever it comes to running in the summertime, you want to make sure that you have the proper clothing whenever it comes to your shirts, your underwear, and your socks. You don't want to have any cotton-based blends because cotton is just going to absorb your sweat and hold on to it, and it's going to cause chafing, especially during longer runs. So you want to have some kind of synthetic blend that is going to wick away moisture and dry faster to prevent chafing. Also, I like wearing a hat during the summertime, or really all the time, to help keep the sun out of my eyes, and it also does a good job of keeping the sweat out of my eyes. Also, you can look into running without a shirt, and if you're running without a shirt, that's going to get us into tip number 4. Okay, so tip number 4, regardless if you're wearing a shirt or not, we're gonna wanna use sunscreen. Just like we're trying to wear proper clothing to help prevent chafing, we're gonna wanna use sunscreen to help prevent sunburn, because if we're chafed or we're sunburnt, it's gonna make us really uncomfortable during our runs, then we probably won't run. So we really want to protect our skin. And also, skin cancer is a real thing, so use sunscreen to help protect yourself from the sun. A lot of people don't like putting sunscreen on their face or their forehead because whenever they're running, they'll sweat and it'll drip down into their eyes. You can put some Body Glide, some anti-chafe on your eyebrows, above your eyebrows, and it'll help prevent the sweat and the sunscreen from getting in your eyes. That's just a little tip. But yeah, tip number 4, wear sunscreen. Okay, so tip number 5 is going to be changing how you gauge your workouts. Instead of going off a pace, because during the summer months, your body is working a whole lot harder to keep your body cool, so it's gonna be much harder to run those paces as easily as you used to whenever it was cooler. So it's nice to not go by pace during the summer, and you can go off of the RPE scale, which is the rate of perceived exertion, which is a scale of 1 to 10. I will put that on the screen for you guys. 1 meaning very easy, 10 meaning all out. So if you're supposed to run at a RPE of 3 today, which is a very easy run, just gauge it off of that. Also, you could go off a heart rate, which is something I like to do, and you'll notice in the summer months, you'll be running at paces that your heart rate would normally be in your normal range at, but now it's gonna be a little elevated. So you're gonna wanna back off on your pace a little bit. Also, you could, I've done this too, you can take your pace off of your running watch. Like
most watches have like multiple screens you can scroll through depending on like what you're trying to see during your workouts. And I just put my heart rate and my distance on there. I take my pace out of it so I don't look down at my watch and be like, damn, I'm moving really slow today, let's speed up. So I just go ahead and take that out of the picture. Sorry, there's a cat running around the house. But that's pretty much gonna wrap up the 5 tips to help you run during the summer months. Also, I'm gonna give you guys a few bonus tips that are super short and sweet. One is going to be stash your water somewhere along your route. If you don't wanna carry water with you on your run, or maybe you have a long run and you're not sure if there is water available for you to refill your bottle, hey, stash some water along your route. Tip number 2 is going to be choose a shady route. This is where trails can be very beneficial to you because trails around my area are in wooded areas, so it's pretty much shaded the entire trail. So if you're not into trail running, if you haven't tried trail running, get into trail running during the summer months because it's a lot more shaded and definitely better than roads at a lot of the time. Tip number 3 is going to be bring a towel or 2 or 3. This is one thing my girlfriend hates is whenever I get in the car after a workout, and it doesn't even have to be like a long run, it could be 5 miles and I'm just drenched in sweat from all of the heat and humidity here in Alabama, and the seat gets disgusting. So bring a towel or 2 or 3 to prevent any swamp ass in your car. And lastly, tip number 4 is going to be put your name and an emergency contact on maybe your water bottle or maybe your running vest that you're running with, just in case something were to happen during your run. It's a possibility, especially during the heat of the summer. Maybe you're dehydrated and something happens and someone finds you on the trail, they'll have something to go off of. But yeah, these are gonna be 5 tips plus those 3 or 4 bonus tips that I got you guys for running in the summer, how to manage running in the summer. If you have any more tips that I didn't mention, comment down below so other people can view them. So yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you got any value out of this, subscribe and I will see you in the next one.